in short, it is not a scientific term because we, the astronomers, do not use this term. It is now a very successful term out there, very so successful, and we started using this term as well because we love bringing the beauty of the cosmos to people, and I find that supermoon is very efficient to bring to you the idea behind it. So let me underline again that supermoon is not a scientific term, but that said, what does it mean? You know, the moon is orbiting around our planet. It takes a bit less than 1 month to the moon to complete an orbit around us. And while it is doing that, during that 1 month long journey, you can see the moon just changing the phase from new moon, first quarter, full moon, last quarter, and new moon again before a new cycle is started, okay? And the orbit of the moon around the Earth is not just a simple circle, it is an ellipse. That is, it has a bit of eccentricity, and because of this, of course, the distance of our cosmic neighbor from the Earth is not the same while it is moving along this orbit. So sometimes the moon is a bit closer, sometimes the moon is a bit farther, and we call the closer position perigee and the farthest position apogee. So when the moon is close to its perigee, it is a bit closer, okay? It could be a few percent closer than an average moon. And what happens if the moon is at the perigee and at the same time is close to the full phase, like has happened now, for example? Well, at that point, you have a full moon a bit closer than usual, and this is why you will see a bit larger in the sky, okay? But a few percent, I really believe that nobody will be able to recognize that this full moon is a bit larger, about 5% than an average full moon, because the difference is very small and we don't have memory of the previous or the average moon, but mainly because it is a very marginal difference. Anyway, it is a few percent larger, tonight full moon, a few percent larger than an average full moon, and a bit brighter, okay? And out there, they started using this term supermoon just to describe this condition. A full moon close to its perigee, okay? Making it a bit larger and brighter simply because it is a bit closer. But as I said, and as I still want to repeat, this has nothing very special, nothing revolutionary as for what you will see of the moon, but still I find this term quite efficient, as I said, to bring to you the idea behind it, the idea that we try to explain right now, and I'm happy if that idea and that term will just invite you, will promote, the experience of the sky. If you will go out there and look at the moon, and you will discover that there is such a beautiful sky over there, thanks to the supermoon idea, I'm happy with the supermoon. So I invite you, all of you listening to me right now, at some point of your evening, just go out there and enjoy with your own eyes the full moon. And this time you can do this basically from everywhere. There are no limitation because of light pollution, because the moon is of course very bright. And right now the moon is a source of light by itself, okay? It's just sending back to the Earth the fraction of the light it is receiving from the sun. And we the astronomers, while I love the moon for many reasons, well, when the full moon is out there, there is so many moonlight around that we see just a few stars like in a big city, and so very often we take the time around the full moon to take some sleep, to take some relax. But as I said, that is at least a natural source of light, nothing to do with the pollution from artificial light. just to make this clear, and I strongly suggest you to find your time to look the moon with your very own eyes. And as I said, this is the last fourth supermoon of 2024, and if I say we had 4 this year, you can easily conclude that after all, the supermoon is not rare at all. Having 4 in 1 year, it's basically almost 40% or so it is not rare at all. The largest one was the October supermoon, but we also had in September the partial eclipse superimposed to that supermoon, while the first one was in August, when we also had a blue moon. So this year we had plenty of supermoons, just limiting ourselves to the full moon, because you can have the full moon during the lunar perigee, and we call it this supermoon, which is not a scientific term, I repeat, but you can even find someone considering supermoon even the new moons, but by definition you cannot see the new moon in the sky because it is somewhere between us and the sun, unless it is not perfectly aligned with the earth and the sun to create a solar eclipse. And we had that situation a few years ago. That is a supermoon at new moon during solar eclipse, but that is quite rare. So this is why, after all, just the full supermoons are of interest for the general public, I would say for everyone. And while this image is the only one I could capture, as I said, at the remote observatory we have very strong wind, making truly unsafe, very risky for us to operate the system, the telescopes remotely under those very strong, severe wind conditions. But as I said, I managed to capture this image from Rome, and this is the supermoon we are talking about, taken a few minutes ago. And I also want to share with you an image I did in the past. And this has nothing to do, I underline, with the full moon we are talking about. And in December 2017, we had a supermoon, and from Rome I could spot that moon this way. I underline, this is a 2017 supermoon, December 2017. Nothing to do with our actual full moon. While a few summers ago I could take this image, another supermoon rising above the Quirinale, the residence of the Italian president, and you can see the Italian flag, by the way, and still I underline, this image has nothing to do with our supermoon now. This is an old supermoon from our archives, as well as this other image taken in May 2022, if I remember right, so a couple of years ago. So this image is not showing the current supermoon which I shared earlier. Just for the record, these are a few archives images, hoping to bring to you the beauty of such an event, the supermoon. So I strongly invite people, I always invite people to go out there and have fun with the full moon every time, because it's honestly amazing to see the full moon rising. And by definition of full moon, that is from the earth you see the full moon on the opposite direction than the sun. So because of this geometric condition, when the sun is setting, at sunset of course, you see the full moon rising, and it is amazing to see the full moon rising because you can still see, thanks to the twilight, the residual light at the end of the day, you can still enjoy the panorama, the terrestrial panorama, with the full moon rising on the very foreground. And I exploited those conditions many times to capture a few images, like the ones I shared a couple of minutes ago with the full moon, the supermoon in case, rising behind the monuments of Rome or some very special places of the natural world. So while the full moon is amazing at any time, I still find it much more interesting during at dusk, that is at sunset when the full moon rises, or at dawn when the full moon is setting, my friends. So unfortunately, as I said, we could not operate our robotic telescopes remotely because there is very strong, truly severe wind at our remote observatory, and it will be honestly crazy and unsafe to operate those telescopes under those extreme weather conditions. So I was lucky to capture this image from my apartment here in Rome, and this is the Beaver Supermoon, the last full moon of this year, the last of 4 supermoons in a row. So we have to wait for next year, 1 year basically from now, to see another supermoon. So while we had a few in a row, now we have to wait almost 1 year before we see a new one from 2025. I want to tell you that the Virtual Telescope project, while sharing here this I think a very nice image of the Beaver Supermoon captured a few minutes ago from Rome, the Virtual Telescope project, I was saying, is always ready to bring to you great things happening out there. We shared the recent C2023A3 Chushishan comet several times with plenty of success, with plenty of viewers joining us from everywhere, from every corner of the planet. We scheduled today another amazing event going to share live the potentially hazardous asteroid 2020 XR. Just visit www.virtualtelescope.eu to learn more. I strongly suggest you to subscribe our YouTube channel. Just click on the bell. You can easily locate the bell just moving the mouse on the video window you are seeing now. You can also join our Facebook page, the Virtual Telescope Project page on Facebook. This way you will always learn when something new is just happening, when something new is rising above the horizon, and when the Virtual Telescope Project is sitting on the first row to bring the experience live to you, no matter where you are on the planet, just perhaps sitting in your living room, connected with us, with our robotic and state-of-the-art technology here in Rome, Manciano, Italy, in the beautiful countryside of the Maremma in Tuscany. That said, my friend, I hope that despite the unfavorable weather, this image I could capture a few minutes ago of the Beaver Supermoon, the last of the year after 3 previous ones, 4 full moons in a row after all, could be, for you, a nice opportunity to get inspired to go out there right now if you are in Europe, or pretty soon if you are in the Americas. As soon as the evening will reach you, just go out there and enjoy the full moon at sunset as it rises. That said, please consider if you want to support our project. As I said many times, we will never ask for money to people to join us and to enjoy what we offer. We believe that you have the right to enjoy the universe, the beautiful universe we belong to, but even if you are enjoying this for free, it does not mean at all that it is free to run. You can perhaps imagine how expensive could be the technology behind the scene here for maintenance, for upgrades, whatever. So you are very welcome. If you want to support us, just visit www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. And you know, we have been around now for more than 18 years. I mean, time is flying so fast. So we are approaching 20 years of activity, and our reputation is now legendary around the planet. So it just means that if you will trust us and you will help us, you know that we'll do our best to make your support very valuable to keep this project alive. That's all from Italy. Gianluca Masi, Virtual Telescope Project, is wishing you the very best, a beautiful experience, a wonderful Beaver Supermoon, this month, this night, the last of the year. So take care, and looking forward to bring to you the next cosmic experience, my friends. So take care and keep looking up. Gianluca Masi, Virtual Telescope Project, Italy.